Thank you so much for being here. You look lovely,
thanks for having
gorgeous.
me. You know, you can't flirt with me like you did last time. We got that clear, right? You can't flirt like you did last time.
I don't think in any way I was flirty with you last time. I'm very professional and respectful of boundaries.
I think you did, and I'm pretty sure that they have a clip of that.
Pretty!
Hey, beautiful people, another episode, another recap video. Today's episode is Know Your Fusion. Steve and Amethyst fuse into Smokey Quartz to introduce Garnet and Pearl to the new fusion. Smokey's yo-yo tricks make a mess, and Sardonyx is formed to prevent further damage. Sardonyx brings Smokey into Sardonyx's room, which only exists when she does. She creates a TV set with a talk show, and Sardonyx interviews Smokey in hopes to find out everything about the new fusion. Sardonyx has Smokey go through a few skits in hopes that she will reveal new powers of the new fusion.
I call this segment...
You like that, little man?
Because everybody loves a callback. She's not actually in this episode. Do we still have to pay her? Yes? Fair enough.
But Sardonyx realizes that she stole the show and unfuses. With Sardonyx no longer existing, the room stops existing, and Smokey's barely able to get all four of them out of the room. The four crystal gems laugh it off, and they start talking about Smokey on Steve and Amethyst's terms. That's the episode. This episode is such a huge fanfare episode, and like I said before, I thought this would have been a much better Season 4 premiere. Granted, how the schedule is now, it really doesn't matter what is a seasonal premiere and what isn't, because you can't really tell because the episodes are airing in such a weird way. However, if this was a more traditional, like we had a hiatus, then we came back, I would have much liked this episode more than I would have liked Kindergarten Kid. Just because it's refamiliarizing the characters, it's something that we're really excited about, and not that Peridot catching gems is not exciting. It's just this one, it's like, hey, this just happened. You know, we just had a new fusion. We want to know everything about it. And Sardonyx is easily a metaphor for the audience because we want to know so much about Smokey Quartz, and we want to, we just want to spend more time with her. What's really funny is that now Sardonyx and Smokey Quartz are probably the fusion that's been on screen the most, with the exception of Garnet. But hey, Garnet's kind of the exception for everything. She's I always find it fascinating. The show, obviously she's a fusion, but it doesn't really treat her like a fusion. They treat Garnet more as the main character and Ruby and Sapphire as like the secondary part, while all the other fusions are reversed. It makes sense because Garnet is the leader and Garnet stays as Garnet the most, and we spend most time with Garnet. But it's just weird how a lot of the rules for fusions don't apply to Garnet. Like Garnet gets reformed and gets a new outfit, but Ruby and Sapphire never do. And Ruby and Sapphire don't have stars in their uniforms and stuff like that. Like, I just find that really interesting and weird. This episode has so much meta humor. If you're not familiar with meta humor is when a TV show directly references the fact that it's a TV show, and there's so many little pieces of that of Sardonyx. So I find that very interesting, especially if you go back to the Uncle Grandpa thing with like Pearl and Garnet freaking out so much. But Sardonyx is kind of having the same powers as Uncle Grandpa in this episode, so that's very weird. We did going back to the Garnet as a fusion, and I don't think of Garnet as a fusion half the time. I forgot that how powerful Garnet really is because she is a fusion, and that Opal's slightly stronger versus Garnet. That kind of makes a little bit of sense because one, you have a super powered up Pearl, who is beyond the capabilities of any other Pearl, and then you have a Quartz soldier put together. The Quartz soldier alone, even if Amethyst is quote-unquote defective, that should be more powerful than a basic grunt and a gem that doesn't fight at all and literally has no fighting capabilities with Sapphire. I really enjoyed the joke with Nicki Minaj, oh, she's not in this episode, do we still have to pay her? Probably some kind of royalties for using the sound clip. That makes sense. And overall, I mean, if you guys know me, I love the show Community. I make references to it all the time. And you have Abed. Abed's the character that breaks the fourth wall in that show. He's the meta humor character, and I just can't help but Sardonyx is the show's Abed. I find that adorable.
Okay. Are we going to the puppy parade or not? Because this is starting to feel like a bottle episode.
Again with the TV crap. Hey, Meatball, did you take Annie's pen to make life more like Benny Hill?
Abed?
I wouldn't do that. I hate bottle episodes.
Whoever the pen thief is, and I'd like to know who it is, so I can let them know that they have lost my trust forever.
It's a bottle episode.
You know what this is?
Yep.
Shut up.
But yeah, I was super stoked about this, but like I kept finding myself not really knowing what to talk about here. We didn't really learn a lot about Smokey Quartz, besides that she's apparently the physical manifestation of Steven and Amethyst's self-doubt. And Sardonyx is just kind of, steals the spotlight, which we kind of already known before. I mean, like, that's how Amethyst always felt. It was really cool to see two fusions kind of hang out in the, like, it's the same cast, it's the same, like, 4 characters in the room. Again, counting Garnet, it's just 1 because, but it's the same 5 characters, I guess, but in a different, like, arrangement, and I find that very fascinating. And this episode really just kind of made me wish that we got to see, it probably was too soon and probably would have stole Smokey Quartz's thunder, but I kind of wish that we would have saw what Steven looks like with Pearl and with Garnet, though I don't think he has the same emotional attachment with those characters, so it might not happen anytime soon. Steven was only able to fuse with Amethyst because they have so much in common as far as inadequate like mental states. They both feel like they're not what they're supposed to be and they're trying to live up to a big shadow, and that was the melding glue for their fusion. I don't think Steven and Pearl have that same relationship, and I could say the same for Garnet, though I think we'll probably end up seeing more of Steven and Garnet before we'll see Steven and Pearl. That's just my theory. And I still hope we get to see all of them together at some point. Though I really do want that rainbow quartz, because I think that'd be hilarious. Chubby rainbow quartz. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this vlog, and I will talk to you guys soon with the next one. See you guys soon. Bye. Love you. Things like that. Bum bum bum. I don't know how to end vlogs.